All right, what's up, beautiful people? Back with another video. Today's also going to be another little quick Bible study on James 1, and this is very helpful to me because it's just something that I've just come to a realization and learning. Obviously, as a fool through a series of events and me learning by my own actions, right? But today's going to be talking about trials and temptation, right? That's the title of the book. Um, but I want to take note that through trials come maturity and wisdom, right? The only way that you really learn is through trials, right? Temptation doesn't really teach you much. It just shows you, hey, I'm weak. Okay, like simply you're just weak. But anyway, the verse I want to kind of look at is verse 12 through 15, which says, this is what it reads. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trials, because having stood the test, the person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. When tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me, for God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anybody, right? But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desires and enticed. Then, after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, gives birth to death, right? And I just quick note, literally yesterday I posted a post, right, on all my social media that describes the flesh as emotions which are processed, right? So the flesh is the embodiment of emotions processed outside of God, right? And because your emotions are what going to lead you to doing whatever you do, right? Because you feel like it. And if you don't go to God first, you're going to do whatever you think is right. And most of the time, like 99.9% of the time, it is not going to align with the will of the Father, right? But anyways, I say this to say this, right? When we stand the trials and the test that comes before us, we are rewarded, right? So that means we understood it, we got the correction, we know we were able to use and process the words, and then obviously make the correction based on the Bible, right? Or based on the will of God. But when we fail, we are corrected because the test is from the Lord, the trial is from the Lord, not set up for us to fall, right? That is temptation. Temptation leads to sin because it is set up for you to fail. And the difference is that you will not hear the Lord when you are falling into temptation, right? But you will hear and know of his presence when you are being tested or put on trial, right? And obviously the best way for you to pass the trials and we must know and follow is to know and follow the word, right? Verse 25 says, give me a second. It says, but whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do, right? So this ties into Psalms 1, the first Psalms of the book of Psalms, right? Which reads, blessed is the one who does not walk in steps with the wicked or stands in the way with the sinners, what the sinners takes or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord and who meditates on his law day and night. Ooh, remember that. Remember that. I'm gonna finish the rest, and then we're gonna go to Joshua 1. Right. That person is like a tree planted by the streams of the water, which yields its fruits in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do, they prosper. Whatever they do prospers. Not so the wicked. They are like chaff, right, which is a seed of a plant that the wind blows away. Therefore, the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous, because sin and righteousness cannot mix. For the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked leads to destruction. So watch yourself, watch where you walking, watch how you walking, right? So let's go to Joshua. So Joshua, I'm going to read verse 8 and then 9, right? Verse 8 says, keep this book, right, of the laws always on your lips, right? Meditate on it day and night so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful in all that we do by knowing the word and committing it to our hearts, and keeping it on our lips by speaking it and living it and just being it, being about it, right? We will become prosperous in all that we do because this is how we hear the Lord. This is how we become one with the Lord. The word, right? Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And that is because when you submit to the word and learn the word and instill the word in your heart, right? You become a new being because the Lord is then in like a more direct contact with you and can better communicate with you and tell you, hey, this is where you need to be and guide you. And even if God is not the one who like directly speaks to you, right? You have this ability to be reminded of the word of the Lord, right? To check you, right? Paul speaks heavily on sexual immorality, right? That's why the sexual immorality thing is like so huge. Like we're easily convicted of that because it's so spoken of when we think about it. But for these other things, the small, minute things that we don't think about that affects our lives, right? Knowing the word will truly guide you in the best ability for everything else that we want to do and need to do and will be doing, right? Especially, for example, like giving, right? You will know how to give properly in accordance to the word, right? Based on what your situation is, you can give to the best of your ability based on the word for your life, right? And for what God has in alignment with you. There's so much, but that is the best way. So trials, right? We on the other side of trials, we gain knowledge and wisdom, and we are conquerors, right? So if we fail, though, we become corrected. We know where the weakness is, and the Lord will be showing us a step by step guidance of where we are broken. And then with Him, in communion with Him, He will show us how to be better. Temptation hurts you. Flee from temptation. That's it. Have a good one.